Hey, welcome back to the Travel Winds podcast. My guest today is Kim Rogers, affectionately known as the Worm Queen. She told me I could say that. So,
Yes.
how are you today, Kim?
Good. How are you?
Doing excellent. So,
Good.
you're the Worm Queen. I'm kind
I'm
of
the worm queen.
kind of curious about. I mean, I know, but obviously, I need to share how, why, when, and where you got became the Worm Queen.
Well, I was crowned the worm queen in 2021.
Okay.
And it was because I didn't want to be known as the worm lady. And I talk about parasite cleansing. I went viral over parasite cleansing. So affectionately, my community said, well, let's crown you. And so here I am, the
The
worm
Queen.
queen. Yeah.
The promotion. I got you.
Yeah, it was really fun. I went viral on TikTok in July of 2021. A million people, the first 2 hours of my video, watched it and it like went wild. I was talking about my own parasite cleanse. It was literally 60 seconds and I was on a self-healing journey. And so I had done someone else's cleanse, not even a full cleanse. I had just taken someone else's tincture. So I went on my TikTok and I said, "Hey,
I'm
I come
doing
from
this.
yeah, I'm like, hey, so I come from Western medicine and I've never dewormed myself until now.
Yeah.
And I had them come out my skin, I had them come out my urine. And so it just started going viral. And I started like reading people's comments to understand because I do come from Western medicine and this is a taboo subject.
Yeah.
This is something that even with all of my history, I've run 25 healthcare colleges. I've written multiple healthcare books for education. I've sat on advisory boards. I've written national certifications. We never talked about this. We never discussed it. Maybe 3 minutes, I might have given a discussion about parasites and then moved right on. It just is not something that we ever thought in Western medicine was ever going to be a problem, let alone a problem that actually caused a lot of my health issues.
Why do you think that is? I mean, because up until hearing about you, I had never heard of parasite. I mean, I had heard of them obviously, but I mean, detoxing, I never heard of parasite detoxing or any of that. Why is that?
A lot of people think it's because of money, but I believe that 100 years ago, when our Western medicine just became developed, right? Because we have only been in this realm of medicine for 100 years since 1924, so 101 years. And we slowly started changing our medical books. And because we're a first world country, is how we all think,
Yeah.
there's no way we can have parasites, but they don't just stop at the border. And we've kind of villainized other countries that do parasite cleanses, but they don't have nearly the problems with their health like we do. When they realize that this is an environmental toxin is the issue, they actually will stop and be like, well, maybe we should arm our communities
Yeah.
with knowledge and synthetic driven or anti different parasite cleanses like I'm doing. I think that they kind of stopped and let their egos go aside. I also believe that we're in a boxed in situation with licenses when it comes to medical
Yeah.
professionals, and they're not allowed to go outside of that box because of malpractice.
All sorts
So
of
I
things.
feel like it's just kind of changed over the last 50 years, really. And we've just kind of been like, there's no way that could be us. And really, I believe just from numbers that at least 60 million per the CDC of Americans have parasites, but that's documented. And I am not even in that number, but I have a lab from an independent lab stating what parasites I had. So it's really like we don't have good testing. And so if there's not good testing, doctors are not going to come to
Yeah.
you and be like, this is what you have. They're going to do what they know.
But let me ask you this question. If I went to a doctor and and said, I feel like I have parasites, I need you to test me for them, would they do that? And then if they did find out you had parasites, what would be the Western medicine treatment for it?
If you go to a doctor and say that, maybe more now in the last 4 years, because I've been real loud and
Yeah.
vocal, and people are kind of in a medical awakening, including medical professionals. I believe
100%.
they probably would be like, well, let's do a stool test. And not all stool tests are accurate because they're stealthy. Parasites are stealthy. They can hide themselves very easily. And so that's kind of one thing that if they can't do testing, they're not just going to go and be like, hey, you should take this fenbendazole or ivermectin or menbendazole. They're all synthetics. And so you should take that. They're not going to do that, one, because the insurance needs the testing in order to give the codes to
For the,
sign off for the meds, right? So it's this big thing. So that part, yes, is all about the money. But they can then look at you and be like, I mean, maybe a couple of my friends went to the doctor and they said, maybe you should go look up this girl that's on social media and try her cleanse. And it was my husband's best friend's brother. And he goes, that's, that's Jeremy's wife. Oh my
I
gosh.
know
So,
her.
yeah.
I
So,
wh- so because I've been on it for 12 days now, 11 days.
mhm.
So I don't want people to think, you know, but I'm just curious. It's like there's no downside to doing this detox. So even if I don't have parasites and I take your tincture and do it all that, it's not bad for me. It's not like
No,
it's not a medicine. It's not, there's no side effects to having it. So I don't, I guess that's where I go, why not give it to everybody and just see what happens? Like
that's right.
no downside. So
There's no downside to it. It's not going to hurt you, especially with the way I developed the ParaFy kit. Now, if you're on blood thinners or chemo meds, we do recommend no. If you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or under the age of 3, those are all things you should go and research on your own. But it's not going to hurt you. I used herbs like cilantro that helps with heavy metals. We've all been exposed to heavy metals. We all have some form of candida, which is an overgrowth of yeast when we eat too much sugar. It'll overgrow and that helps subside, like sustain, which is one of our tinctures. And then parafy helps with inflammation and then you bind. And so when I'm traveling, I take my kit everywhere I go because I eat questionably more when I travel.
yeah,
So I definitely make sure that I have my kit and then I'll just proactively take it. And I think that that's the part that we as society have been indoctrinated by not saying, let's be proactive. We're
yeah,
always so reactive.
yeah.
And so you're right. There is no harm in just doing it 3 to 4 times a year. We've been exposed. We have pets. We eat fish. We eat salmon. We eat raw produce. And all of these things can start to accumulate these bacterias and the pesticides and the parasites. They'll start to accumulate in your body. And then that's where we end up having chronic illness. At least in my case, that's what happened.
It's interesting because I could just see you going to the doctor and, and not you, but I mean, we as a people, you go and you say, well, I don't know, I don't feel right, my shoulder
Mhm.
and my back's been aching and my leg hurts and they go, oh, let's put you on this medicine and see how it works. And let's give you this statin. Let's give you this cortisone shot or this, and they don't really know. They're guessing.
Yep. That's what happened to me. I mean, and I come from this world and I was a big advocate for myself, but after a while you start to get gaslit and you start to like question your own thoughts. And that's why my husband and I kind of left our lives and went out to our property to figure out what was wrong with me. I was circling the drain. I was not doing well. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good. I couldn't think straight. I wasn't going to the bathroom. That was a huge indication. And I'm one of millions,
Yeah,
right? There's so many of us that we go to the doctor and we say, listen, I just want to know what's wrong with me. Like
exactly.
when I eat, I'm not going to the bathroom right. My skin's a mess. My anxiety is off the hook. And they're like, it's just stress. And you're like, no, man, there's something more than just
I have
stress
stress
going
because
on
of
here.
this.
Yeah, totally. I'm really stressed because I want to know what's wrong. And you go in there and they're like 5 minutes. That's all you get.
Yeah,
And then in those 5 minutes, you're supposed to cram a laundry list of everything that's gone on. And then they're like, well, your blood work looks fine. And you're like, well, yeah, my blood work looks fine, except for me personally. I'm like, but this level's off. Why is this level off? And whenever I would ask this one specific level, which is the level that if you have fungus, mold, or parasites in your body, it's high. And they'd always look at you and go, I don't know. So I research, right? And then you go in and you tell them you researched, and then they look at you funny. So at this point, I think where we're at in our time frame in life, We
Yeah.
should just really realize that Western medicine is here to save your life. They're not here to heal you.
Right.
And you have to be your own advocate to do this. And these are the tools that I give our community: free ebooks. We answer every email, we answer every comment, every DM, because people just want the knowledge. They
Yeah.
want to be able to go, okay, I know I've been exposed to heavy metals, and then look at our kit and go, cilantro. I eat cilantro. The way that we process those herbs is what makes it so powerful. So, really looking at that and just having people armed, because knowledge is power, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my whole point of this podcast is just trying to share. I mean, because like I told you earlier, it's like I travel so much that it's, man, you get to it. I got to get gas. So if I'm going to stop, I'll get some food. Well,
Hmm.
the gas station food or fast food is all you typically get, and then like I'll upgrade to like a Chipotle once in a while because I think, well, it's healthier than our, AM PM
Yeah.
corn dogs, and pizza. So it's rough.
Let's never do sushi from the AM PM, Peter. Let's I mean, I think even in a desperation, I would not eat that.
Yeah,
That goes for everyone listening.
I'm trying to think if I have. I don't think I have.
Stock plummets.
From Whole Foods, I have.
I mean, it's just so questionable. Any raw produce or any raw fish is a questionable situation. Salmon is notorious, and if you watch my account, you will
I know
see
it's so bad.
I will ruin salmon for everyone. And it's funny because it's really something I love. I love salmon, but I just can't ever get past what I've seen in the videos. I'll never eat pork chops because of what I've seen. Like raw, they animals are down in the dirt and they're
Yeah,
down in there, and like it's just, this is natural. I think that that's the part that we've kind of gotten away from whenever we talk about parasites. This is a natural thing. They are doing their job.
yeah,
They're in there doing what they're supposed to do. The problem is that we just don't ever clean them out. We don't go in there, where other countries like Mexico, you can go to the pharmacy and get fenbendazole, menbendazole, and take a cleanse. That's what I call it, as a cleanse. But they do that like 2, 3 times a year. Like Mexico knows their water isn't good. Our water
right.
is not good. Jamaica, they use a tea called the bush, and they do it monthly. They drink this a couple of days a month, and they just know that they've been exposed to it.
Well, I'm
So,
sure in Jamaica they eat so much fish,
oh yeah.
so they go, hey, I'm going to keep eating the fish, but then I'll just detox from the parasites.
Yep. Yep. That's, they just know. And I feel like we are in a better situation of knowing than we were before I went viral.
Yeah. How weird is that?
I know, it's so weird, let me tell you. It's so weird. This is probably the weirdest journey I've ever could imagine being on. And that's why I wear Worm Queen proudly, because
Yeah.
I really take it seriously. I feel like when I went viral, I saw a need and I went viral over something that I was able to talk about. I love the human body. I have 2 healthcare degrees. I was valedictorian in both of my healthcare degrees. And it's just something that I feel society needs, and especially after 2020, you know?
Well, why do you think? I mean, it's so weird to me because I read up on it and I'm like, other countries no, admit to having parasites and they want to take care of their constituents, their people, so they provide these kits and all that and treatments. But then, like in the U.S., it's almost like we're so we have to be prideful of everything. Like, oh,
Hmm.
not here. Well, we have the USDA, we have the FDA, we have the water boards and districts, so that can't have parasites, but
Hmm.
they can.
Yep.
Well, just so you know, for my listeners on the podcast, she's just shaking her head up and down.
I just think it's wild.
It's crazy to
I
me.
I think that, especially one of the things that I'm wanting to do going forward, is I would like to make some of those changes. I would like to at least help with them. I come from academics, so I know we have to do some changes with like continuing education. So there's things that, like, in my mind, I'm like, this can easily be done. from the last 4 years of everything I've had to go through. My stool got sent internationally. Like, come on. Why did I have to send my stool off somewhere to get tested to find out I had parasites? Like, that's just, and same with my water. I
There's
mean,
no
it's
place
just,
here. Like,
yeah, it's like, why? I mean, why aren't we doing this for our people and
yeah,
Western medicine countries? So, because I sell a kit, I do know that Australia, Canada, and the United States, we are the top buyers of the ParaFy Parasite Cleanse. And it's because those are the top Western medicine countries. And I feel like it's just gotten to a point where we need to have education in other places for
yeah.
us to be able to move forward with understanding medical. With that said, I mean, it takes a lot to make those changes. And so that's why I will go on podcasts and I go on my accounts and I'm like, just go cleanse. That's it. Like, people, I don't really have many people that come back to me and they're like, listen, I didn't feel better. I think maybe one handful. Like, you know,
I was gonna say, I, obviously, anytime I take something, I'm kind of like, why take it, But for my listeners, I can tell you, it's 15 drops of these three ParaFy, Sustain, and Metal Flush. Is that right?
hmm
And it's just 15 drops in 2 ounces of water.
hmm
And it doesn't taste great, but it doesn't taste bad. Does that make sense? Like I
yes.
could drink it easy and go, okay, I don't know that I want to drink more of it, but it's not painful. There's no doesn't burn. There's no, it's just easy.
Yeah. It's reducing inflammation. It's getting nutrients into your body that you maybe never had. It's helping your immune system. You're kind of slowly flushing out heavy metals.
Right.
It's diffusing any extra yeast that you might have growing in your body. Usnea is Mother Nature's doxycycline, so it's helping flush out some bacteria and viruses. When you go in and do a detox, they drop all of these things in your body. And I learned that the hard way. I didn't do it this way when I first cleansed. And I was so viral that, like, I was having major die offs. I didn't know you should bind.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot to be able to educate everybody and on other people's products too. I mean, that really ended up
Sure.
being a big thing for me. And we were in a travel trailer building our log home on our land. I happened to find a really awesome girl on TikTok that we became friends, and that's how we started Rogers Hood. It was actually at her house in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And so that's why we're in Jonesboro, because I'm in a travel trailer, still pretty ill, actually. I really, in the last year and a half, is when my health started to really like set in and start to do a 180. I
Wow.
mean, I just totally did a shift last year with my health. I found out I had chronic Lyme, I had mold poisoning in our travel trailer, and we had parasites in our water. And so it just ended up, that's why I talk about all these things. Because if it happened to someone who literally has been in the field and has
Yeah.
been teaching people, it can happen to anybody. It can really happen to anybody.
I'm just curious. Don't get mad at me.
I won't.
There's a lot of talk about cancer and why there's
Mhm.
such a boom in cancer, and why. I mean, almost everybody knows somebody that suffered or died from cancer. Could that have anything to do with our food and
Absolutely.
water and all that?
Absolutely. And what happens, an anatomy and physiology standpoint, a very black and white science standpoint, is when your cells become stagnant. That's when abnormality starts.
Yeah.
And so these environmental toxins get into our cells. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing. And when you take something like ParaFy, it's a full body cleanse. So it gets into your blood immediately. It goes in and starts to kind of activate your cells, pushing toxins out of your cells. We also recommend other things like vibration plate and cryo and red light. I do an HBOT. All of these things keep our lymphatic system moving and keep our cells moving. Our bodies are supposed to be in motion. But when you are inundated with environmental toxins like we are on a daily, it's in our food, it's in our air, it's in our water, we're doused with it when we're showering. Your body just starts to just stop and it doesn't know what to do. And so abnormal cells start to develop around a healthier cell almost like it's attacking itself, right?
Yeah.
They can't come out and say, oh, well, why? Well, if you are in active detoxing, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but for me personally, and when I'm in active detoxing or I'm in an active supporting, repairing phase, but moving my body, it is easier for me to feel better. And so when you look at that in the big picture, we're sitting down all day, we're eating processed foods, our body is not getting any nutrients. And that is a huge reason why a lot of people feel so good on our kit. We take things like oyster mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms and we soak them, and you're getting magnesium and zinc that you don't even know you're getting when you're taking our tinctures. And so if you think about, I'm just slowly giving you guys more nutrients as you're
Yeah.
taking the ParaFy kit or recover or immune, you're getting those, you're feeling better because they're going to the different organs in our body that need those minerals and those nutrients. And we're just depleted of that as humans in Western medicine countries right now. And so that's really a bigger issue. Your body doesn't have the time or have the energy to fight this anymore. So it's like, okay, I'm just giving up. And that's kind of what it's doing if you were to turn your body inside out. You're
Yeah.
going to see all these cells are just slow and stopped. And that's not what the human body's supposed to be. And they're clumping together. And then you got to push stuff out like heavy metals. So that's really what I think the biggest issue is. I'm not saying that all cancer is that issue,
Or
but
yeah,
it is a big part of it. Yeah.
it just seems like they go hand in hand, right? It's like you
Hmm.
see the bad food choices, and I got into Dr. Motley too. Was the food pyramid kind of kills me.
Yeah.
I mean, I raised my daughters based on what I was told of how to raise my children, and what they should
Hmm.
be eating and all that. And then now I'm like, I went and apologized to them. I said, hey, look, I didn't, you know, I didn't not, I didn't feed you these things on purpose. I just,
We
you
just
know,
didn't know.
the
I
amount of
mean,
milk, the orange juice, and
mhm.
the cereal, part of your healthy diet. It's like, what?
We love Dr. Motley. He's the best, man. He's so good in this space. There are so limited amount of parasite people in this space, and I'm so grateful to have him in our space with parasites and Lyme and mold, and he's just this wealth of knowledge. And he just really like respects humanity and just wants everybody to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
So, but don't feel bad about the food pyramid. Like I come from this world and I
Yeah.
still didn't know the things that I know now. And I feel like that's why I'm so vocal about this. And I want just the best for people to understand why we're not taught all of this younger. Like we should be taught in high school or
100%.
even earlier about our bodies and how our bodies process food. And if it can't process it, it'll sit and then our bodies start attacking each other itself, and that's an autoimmune disease. And so if you look at how many autoimmune diseases we have,
Ton.
it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane how many we have right now.
And it's exactly. So that's why we need you to keep going viral and have wonderful viral moments.
Oh
That's
my God.
like a lot of people complain about the internet being a bad thing.
Hmm.
And I think it kind of, I always say, you get out of it what you put into it. Like if I'm looking up for healthy alternatives and choices for food and this and that, and that's what comes up in my feed, my algorithm starts becoming Dr. Motley stuff and and Worm Queen and but that's the good part about the algorithms because I mean, even 10 years ago, there was no viral moment, right? I mean,
Hmm.
maybe 15, I don't know. But
I was like 15, 10 years ago was like Twitter and there were some pretty, I was on Twitter 10 years ago.
okay.
Yeah, I actually found a document 10, it was in 2016. So what are we in 2025?
I
From
know.
the CIA. It actually had been declassified and I'll send it to you. And it talked about how endoparasites are replicas of malignant tumors. And it
Oh,
was
I
from
didn't know that.
1953. and it was declassed in 2011, and I actually found it in 2016, and I held on to it for quite a while. And when I went viral in 21, I didn't go viral because I knew about that document. It actually was just chilling in my photos because I'm 46 and I like to screenshot everything.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting, it was about a month and a half after I had gone viral. And I was sitting there and I was like, gosh, where do I know some of this stuff from? And I went into my photos and there's a search bar and I just typed in CIA and it popped up and I couldn't believe it. I was like, my subconscious
You
had that
did.
memorized. And like, it was really like this very full circle moment for me because I found it when I was digging in some other
Yeah.
stuff back in
Right.
that day, that time frame. And so I had found that and then I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then that lit this huge fire under me. But when I went viral, I didn't know all the things that I know now. And I learned a lot from my community because they would come in my comments and they're like,
And
"Have you
start
done
sharing their
this?"
stories, right?
Totally. It was
Yeah.
so helpful because a lot of ranchers and farmers do this when they're giving their cattle and their
Yeah.
animals. But that's what's wild about this. We deworm our pets. Why aren't we deworming ourselves? They lick us, they lay with us, and they're outside. I mean, I guess now that people are realizing it, the light bulbs are going off like, oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
We're out here deworming everything but ourselves, you know?
I, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like it almost makes no sense that we weren't doing it.
Mm-hmm. Makes no sense. No sense, honestly. And I think from my past life of writing books, I was a subject matter expert. I really can see how this got lost because I would go in and I would review books and then I would send the publisher mistakes or changes or things that weren't as relevant. So over time, if you look at that in a big picture, you have someone who's like, "Oh, well, we haven't seen a case of parasites in, a year or whatever." Okay, they took it out, right? So that just changed the course of the future when they started to remove things out of it. And so I don't always blame doctors and other practitioners because they really are only doing what they're told.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of get into this discussion, sometimes argument. Uh, I always said to people, it's like, I wonder in 30 years or 50 years, when my granddaughters are raising their kids or whatever, what are they going to say about COVID and what we just went through as a society? And how, depending on what book you read and who it was written by,
Yep.
it could be a completely different experience.
Completely. Even what state you were in. I'm in Washington.
100%.
And it was wild because the first couple of months that it all went down, we were literally the day everyone got put in lockdown, our logs got delivered on our foundation at our property. And I was fighting for my life in other ways than COVID. And so I look at it for me as like this medical awakening for everyone. And I feel
Yeah.
like it was a weird thing that happened. It didn't affect me as much as it affected other people because I was already really super sick. But all my neighbors were really great. And then one day we woke up and the whole jab thing and the masks, and I wouldn't comply because I'm not a Washingtonian and I don't believe the way that the sovereignty was being taken away from us for our own
You
bodies.
didn't want the free French fries?
No, man, I'm good. They said they were like our neighbors said, we're going to put a red circle around your property out of nowhere because they were like, "Are you going to do this?" And I'm all, first off, I don't need to talk with you
Yeah.
who've never worked in the medical field, and I have about my own personal journey. And then I said, no. And my husband's like, "Why'd you say anything?" I'm like, because it's a no for me, always, and there's no judgment. It's just, I was so sick. I didn't need anything else contributing to
Yeah.
it. And I think that it contributed a lot. And people were locked in their moldy homes with their parasite water. And people
Don't go
just,
out in the sun.
oh, it was, yeah, I feel for everyone. And when I went viral the next year, it really was a
That's why.
big mission. Yep, a big push for me to make sure people understood their bodies better. Listen, no judgment. I am here to assist you in any way that I can. I added herbs in there to help calm the inflammation down from anything that you've put in your body. The ParaFy kit is really great for all different things that have been done to your body. And I did that because I had a lot of vaccines in the medical field. And so I know that I was just overdone with a
Yeah.
lot of heavy metals. So I looked at that in such a, like all of it, everything that had been going on when I went viral. And I think that first like 3 days, I made like 40 videos. I mean, I just basically stayed
And
and
just
just was, yeah, it's so therapeutic for me too, because I have this knowledge and I was so sick. I couldn't just give it out to people around me, but I'm like,
yeah.
I'm getting on my phone and I'm going to give it to whoever wants to listen to me.
To me, that is the better part of the internet, though,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
for one, we're talking right now in two
Mm-hmm.
different states via satellite,
Mm-hmm.
and it's instantaneous. Just getting the information out there it's so much easier now.
It's so much easier. I love it. I love the fact that you can take these social media platforms and I can make them my classroom
Yeah.
and I can give all of my knowledge, which I do for free. I don't charge for anything except for my kids. That's it. I don't charge for my free ebooks. I'm constantly in the back end trying to listen to what the community has to say and make whatever needs to be done. I got mold poisoning. I made a mold kit. I have a mold ebook. I have, cookbooks need to be given out all the time because people
Yeah.
don't know what to eat on cleanses. So I'm always doing something for the community so that they can better themselves because the moment that you start to feel validated and you start to feel better, that's the moment that the light bulb goes off and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can do this." Like I went from dying in the woods, making sure that like my husband was well taken care of.
And you were
We had no
literally physically dying, and
physically,
yeah.
yeah. Cryptosporidium parvium is what I had, which is parvo, which kills puppies, and it's a parasite that was in our water, and it was shutting my organs down.
Yeah.
And it took me going viral on TikTok to find that out. Like I had come to Washington, I had multiple doctors. I had a surgical team. I had 13 surgeries and a hysterectomy by 2019, and no one could figure out what was wrong with me.
And that, yeah, I hate to say it. I don't mean that. I'm doing this with my dog right now. Like they want to they want to take him to an allergy test.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know why he's breaking out in these hives and all that. And I'm like, well, how much is that? And they're like, oh, it's 5 grand, $4,800.
Whoa.
And I'm like, does that cure him? And they're like, oh no, that just tells us how we can start treating him. And I'm like, hold on, I got to spend how much to find out that I have to spend more money? He's 9.5. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be, but they're guessing. They're
Yeah.
like, well, maybe it's food. Maybe
Have
it's
you ever
metal.
dewormed your dog?
Huh?
Have you ever
No,
dewormed? Oh, you should. You should. You should get Safeguard. It's on Amazon and it's just powdered fenbendazole.
I'm writing this down.
And it's like, that does it per poundage. So humans can take it too if there's like a desperation. It's really like the same DNA structure as benbendazole. And so Joe Tippin like talks about how he had lung cancer, I think, and like he took this and like it like broke down all the tumors and stuff. Anyway, you can get it on Amazon. It's safe for dogs. It's called Safeguard, and you can put it a couple of times a month in their food
Okay.
and it's not going to hurt them. And then they're exposed even more than us because they're out there eating their own poop and other dogs' poop. You
100%.
know, they're
Yeah.
constantly licking their butts and like then licking you, and they're microscopic. You can't always see what's going on when you have a parasite. A lot of them are microscopic. We have a lot of physical worms, those are called nematodes, and then parasites that are microscopic are called protozoas. And so not everyone has both, and not everyone's going to see something when they deworm. You're not always going to see something with your dog either. Giardia, crypto, and D. fragilis are all microscopic. So unless you're looking at your stool under a microscope all the time, you're just not going to know. You have to go
Yeah.
off symptoms. And they're evaders. They love to be hidden. They know how they're stealthy and they know how to be hidden. And that goes for all animals. And just because you took your dog's stool in or you took your stool in on that particular
Right.
day, there might not be anything in the stool that day. And so that's kind of why you just proactively continuously deworm, cleanse, get the heavy metals out, get the candida down, get the parasites going and out. And then you just know that this is like a lifestyle that you're going to change to and
Yeah.
incorporate everyone in your life because you all share the same microbiome. You all share the same type, if not the same worm or parasite, you know? And if especially if you're around anyone that's had pinworms are lice of the butt and they will get to you and everyone in your family. And so it's so easy to catch one of these things, especially if you have animals. But anyway, back to the dog. So you definitely want to just put some of it in their
In the food.
food. I have a pet protocol. It's Dr. Hoodle Clark's and it's like a parsley water and it's a 6 week process and then you give them the parsley water like every day after that, but it has clove in it and I've had some mixed. Clove is good for animals, clove is not good for animals. So anything that I say or anything that you find on our website, just research it yourself and make your own choices because I'm just going off of the knowledge that is out there that I just didn't want erased and I bring it all into one space so you can just go to one website and have all the
Yeah.
information that you need. But with that said, like be proactive, get parsley water going, and then go and do like 1 to 3 days a month of the safeguard, put it in their food. I think it's a 3 day protocol, and just know it's not going to hurt them. And they may poop out worms, and then the skin may be great because I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that was a trigger for me that made me push harder was I have great skin. And when my skin is something's wrong with it, I know something's wrong with my
Please
gut
do.
and I could not get rid of these bumps and this like what I thought was acne, which it wasn't. It was sores. And so I immediately knew something was wrong with me when I could not get rid of them out of my skin.
Well, that's because you meant to, I mean, I have to, I do nothing for my face. It pisses my wife off, but yeah, she's doing all the stuff and facials and cleans and cleanses and oils and conditioners and I wash my face with water.
Same with my husband.
Yeah.
I hate it. He has no wrinkles and
Yeah.
his facial makes him look like 20 years younger if he ever goes and gets one with me. I'm like, yo.
So, but I'm so curious because out of the tens of thousands, if not millions, I don't know how many kits you've sold now, but what are some of the more common, I guess, experiences?
Well, we've sold around 150,000 kits in the last 3 years.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's wild, right? It's wild. We definitely love doing this. It is all of our passion. So it's you can tell that we put a lot of love and care into our product.
Everything.
Yeah, we do. And
Even
we
the little
make it our
insert cards and
yeah, you
yeah,
like that? I mean, I tried to bring Western medicine to what we're doing because we've all need those instructions, and there's like a sense of independence when you can read everything yourself and like be able to
uh,
kind of do it yourself. So I really tried, and it's such a crazy topic that I wanted to make it all very clean and just here it is, you know, and I didn't want to make anyone fight for the information and look for it. So,
my question is because the fear I had is that all of a sudden worms are going to start coming out of my body. I mean, that's kind of,
yes.
you know, And I was like, okay, that didn't happen. So, I mean,
Well,
I feel
I mean
better.
that.
I'm less bloated.
Oh,
People
good.
people have said my skin looks better.
It does. It
So, 58, it's not bad,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it looks real good. It's got a glow, and you can tell when your skin is getting healthier because your gut's getting healthy. And
Yeah.
really, that's where it all stems from. They say the gut is the second brain, but I really do believe the gut is your brain, and then it sends all of it all over your
Oh, wow.
body. Yeah, that's how my opinion is on it, especially because a lot of people don't realize that like your intestine and your area in your gut is like 22 to around 30 feet long.
Yeah.
And so if you think like that's all wound up, it's where all your nutrients come in. When there's something off, you can feel it in the rest of your body, and it can cause so much anxiety, so much trauma, so much drama, and so much depression. So it's really like getting your gut in check before you really do anything else that could cause other problems, like getting on different medications. Try and get your gut in check before you take like a life altering
Yeah.
surgery, like I did, right?
So,
So, and I feel like that's also a big mission for me is that I really, looking back, probably didn't need a hysterectomy at 29 years old. I really needed a good cleanse, some good nutrients, some good guidance. Um, I have chronic Lyme. I now know I've had Lyme since I was around 10 years old. And my mom and I and my sister and my dad were exposed to mold. My dad was a colonel in nuclear missiles, and he worked at the Vandenberg Air Force Base in California,
I never
and
heard
it's
of that.
moldy there. And so, it's like all of these things play a huge factor in your health. And it's like once you realize that before making any big changes and going on a bunch of medications, just do a 30-day cleanse and see how you feel. And if you start to feel better, then that could potentially be your problem.
Well, like I said, it's like I think thankfully, I guess I don't see any worms coming out of my skin and my eyes. And you start seeing some of the stuff like on your website, on your page, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, those people are definitely infested.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to see something, but I also designed it so that it wouldn't come out of your skin and it wouldn't come out of your eyes and your nose and your mouth because of the binder. And because I added additional herbs like Oregon grapefruit, which kind of helps kind of direct them a little bit more out. And so that's really why it's important to do something that is a whole kit so that you have all of these supporting herbs and
Yeah.
supporting versus just kill, 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 and then they will come out. They came out my skin, they came out my mouth, they came out my ears. Like, and I documented it and then I did the fulvic soak and they came out my feet and I
Still do that.
documented that. Oh, have you done it yet?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. You're like, I don't know. Now maybe they will come out my feet.
Oh, well, I will see.
But also,
I'd rather come out my feet than stay in my feet.
yeah, that's true. That's a good attitude to have. A lot of people are afraid, but it's better out than in,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so the fulvic soak is what?
It's fulvic minerals, which is just dirt, but your skin is the best absorber. It's one of the best modes of medicine to come into your body. And so when you're soaking, it's absorbing and it makes them feel nervous and inhospitable, and they start to try and escape out the pores of your feet. Your feet have 125,000 pores in each foot. And so they can go in it just like a hookworm and a whipworm, and they can come right on out. And so it draws them out. It's very similar to a tapeworm being drawn out by milk when you're doing a milk
But,
bath.
so here's my question.
Yeah.
Will I actually see the little worms or how's
Yeah.
that? Okay, because I don't know if they're just
Oh.
microscopic or
Well, some of them are microscopic, and then some of them, like what come out the fulvic, you'll see it. I actually have it swimming around in the fulvic on video.
I'm thinking about that one.
I had a fluke and I had a roundworm, and it was like, I show it. It's swimming, it changes course. So you could be like, oh no, that's just the wind. No, man, it changed course in the video. It
It wanted to
swam
move.
up and then it swam downstream. Like, and then my husband had a roundworm, like a thread worm come out, and I hold it up, and it's like wiggling.
Ugh.
Mine is swimming and his is wiggling when I pull it. I mean, it was the most wild experience I've ever. And we're in the forest. And I do
Yeah.
have a mushroom story that goes with all of this, of course, because, nothing like doing some magic mushrooms and having some downloads to tell you that you might have worms and you need to cleanse. And then all of a sudden you do. And you're like, what
What the?
world am I in right now?
Yeah. And why?
Yes. Why me? One day I was sitting there,
Yeah.
I'm like, why me? Like, I'm like, what did I do to like be? And I'm all, that's it. At least I'm the worm queen. Like,
Yeah, exactly. You have a reason. Jeez.
so yeah.
So I have to try the fulvic soak. That's
Yes, you have to try the fulvic soak. You let your feet sit for like 30 minutes. You can do a full body. I've actually never done a full body. After my feet soaks that I've done, I'm good. I don't need a full body. And so, but yeah, you do it for 30 minutes and then you let the water sit for 30 minutes and then you'll have everything come from the bottom. It'll raise itself up.
so
And then
I
you'll,
put the powder in into a foot bath thing,
yes.
and then
Hmm.
I just stick my feet in there for half an hour.
Yep,
And
that's
that's
it.
it.
Yep. And then I definitely recommend binding after because it can be like a cleanse.
Now
It
explain
can
what
be
binding
super.
means.
So binding in our case, we call it cinnamon. It's
Cinnamon.
Ceylon cinnamon and coconut activated charcoal. Charcoal is a negative herb, and so it magnetizes a positive toxin. And so what it does is instead of it going into your blood, your tissue, and your muscle, when you're doing a detox, because you're killing things off and they're dropping spores, they're dropping heavy metals, they're dropping eggs, it helps bind that so it doesn't go back into your body creating problems still. And then it helps keep it and go out your poo instead of going out your skin and your mouth and your eyes. Because parasites can hold 6 to 8 times their weight in heavy metals and spores and viruses and bacteria. And when you kill those off, it's just like you just opened up and cracked an egg. They just go everywhere, right? And so you got to contain that. And that's what a binder
That's
does.
the
It
point.
contains that. And then you also need, when you're doing a parasite cleanse, you need to do something that has a biofilm buster herb in it. And a lot of people don't know this that if you just go get something like Paragard from Amazon, it's just the tincture. It's not breaking the biofilm. It's only going in there and kind of agitating in them and having them drop
Right.
out and die. So we brought in herbs like lungwort lichen, and that actually goes in and shatters the biofilm, which is their house. So you make them homeless, and then they're like, "Oh my God, what do we
I
do
gotta go.
now?" Well, too late because now I'm bringing in the wormwood and the Oregon grapefruit and the usnea, and I'm like bombing them, telling them, "You got to get out of my body. You got to get out." And so that's why it's really important to kind of do all of the things, and then you bind at night because that helps remove all of those additional toxins that have been dropped. And we didn't do that. Me and Jeremy didn't do that the first couple of cleanses because we had no idea
Yeah.
until, I went viral. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So there's like a whole system that people are just out there taking the Paragard and they're not even really, I was one of them. That's what I went viral over. And I'm like, so we actually need to bring something in herb wise that helps with inflammation, heavy metals, because now they're dumping the heavy metals. So now you could look at having a heavy metal issue, right? So that's kind of what created this whole kit is that we did all of these things and we were wrong on so many levels.
Well, and now you have the lymphatic kit, right?
Yes. Now we have the lymph kit, and that kit helps with your brain. I brought in lion's mane to help with your brain, and then cat's claw, which also helps repair the DNA damage that's been done. Like for me specifically, I was on a lot of medications. The parasites wreaked havoc on my body, mold. So you bring in an herb that helps repair, helps your body and assist your body in repairing.
I guess part of what I think is, like when I talk to my friends, they're like, "Why would you do that?" Like, and I'm like, "Well, what did your doctor say?" And I go, "I didn't ask him." It's like, he didn't go to school for it, so why would I talk to him about it?
Yeah.
It's like, but I think we're just so kind of not the right word, but misled in a sense of, oh, I went to my doctor and he said take this statin because you have high cholesterol. They didn't want to treat why I have high cholesterol.
Hmm.
They just want to treat the fact that I have it now, and then I'm supposed to take this statin.
right?
and I don't want to. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. How do I get where I don't need it? They never talk to you about that ever.
They don't because when I learned medicine, I learned the medication, not on everything, but I learned the medication and then the symptom that went with it. I learned the code for the insurance.
Yeah,
And that's really how you have to follow it. And then there's upcharges. And so that, that's where you start getting complicated and stacking multiple chronic illnesses because you go in and you mentioned three chronic illnesses versus one, they get paid three times more. And
100%.
so I'm not saying that everything has to do with money, but a lot of it does.
Well, I just got done. Well, we're still kind of dealing with it. My mother-in-law fell and fractured her pelvis.
Mm,
No, there's no kit or anything to make it better. Just repair
mm-mm.
time. She's 86. It was $108,000 is what the hospital was charging
That's
for 2 weeks and a week of rehab. No surgery. Just it was they had MRI because she has
mhm,
metal hips already. But so they couldn't do the regular X-rays. But that was it.
mhm.
$108,000.
And it probably really only was like 10.
So the insurance company said they were willing to pay 18, and the hospital accepted it.
So now, but she doesn't know anything.
Yeah, she didn't know anything because of her insurance.
Insurance.
But the insurance company said, well, out of the 104,000, I think we'll pay 18. And the hospital went, okay. So are they
Mhm,
going to say that as a $90,000 loss on their
mhm.
books?
Well, really, it didn't even cost
It didn't cost them that,
$18,000 to do all of
but
that.
it
Like,
still can come up as a loss.
yep, it'll come up as a loss because that's what they said it would be.
Yep.
Oh, for your mom, do you have red light?
My wife and I just started looking into the red light.
Okay.
I mean, like maybe 3 weeks ago.
She should sit in front of a red light every day. There's some cool little, I mean, if you don't want to like spend a
Yeah.
whole
I'm just
lot,
trying to
there's
imagine me telling her, sit in front
just
of a
sit in
red
front of
light.
this red light for 10 minutes every day. Like literally, it will help. I am a red light freak. I got like, if you looked around my office, I have red light everywhere. I usually am like putting red light on my face. It's so good to boost the mitochondria. It's so good to help with healing. That's, why all of these anti-aging places use red light because it's just going in and actually healing, producing collagen. So overall, like that's what I would recommend for her. Castor oil really helps kind of just go in and like,
We've been doing that too.
oh, good, detox with the
Yeah.
castor oil and then add the red light after you rub the castor oil on. And what the red light does is it penetrates the castor oil deeper.
Interesting.
Yep, it adds it like kind of goes in and it just keeps pushing it more and more. The red light is the driver of the castor oil deeper. So I like to do it on my neck. It helped when I was doing detox. It actually helps if you can't go to the bathroom and you put it on your abdomen and then you sit in front of the red light. The red light helps
So,
break down. Yeah, it's so good. Red light is, I actually have a couple of red light books. I read a ton of things about red light
yeah.
because it's more than just, for your skin.
Well, but in some ways, I feel like if your skin is good,
Mm-hmm.
which is your largest organ, that's what they've always said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should treat it pretty well.
Yep. And your skin reflects on what's going on inside.
Yeah.
It's a direct reflection. Like I've got a breakout, and I know because I traveled last week and I didn't always eat the best that things are being pushed out of my body. And it
So,
just, your skin is your first indication, but it had to have been going on for at least a week to have it start pushing out your skin. It didn't just always happen
yeah.
overnight. So,
That's the other thing. As a traveler, I mean,
mhm.
it's frustrating for my wife because like I'll go to Vegas for the rodeo and I worked there for 16 straight days. So I'm around tens of thousands of people, 16 straight days,
Wow.
working every day, no time off, usually going out to dinners or events at night. And then I come home and then I get sick. And my wife's like,
Mhm.
every year you come home from the rodeo, you're sick. And I'm like, I go, only once did I ever get sick there, but it's that I come
Mhm.
home and then my body just goes, vroom. And like you said, it takes about a week for everything to start pushing through and pushing out, and you're not eating good. And so I got to get better at that.
I recommend you doing ParaFy while you're traveling. Now that you've done a
Yeah,
full
yeah,
and I'll send you Immune and Recover, and you can take Immune while you're traveling. Jeremy and I don't get really ill unless we've eaten something bad. I've had salmonella poisoning twice in the last year. It's been terrible, but we actually don't. Our immune system is very good considering how sick I was to where
yeah,
I'm at now. My immune system is great. I can travel and not get sick. Now, I do have friends that travel with me and they can't travel like me and Jeremy travel. Their immune system is just not as
yeah,
built up.
yeah. Yeah. I'll look forward to that
Okay.
because I mean, that's big for anybody. There's so many doing this podcast. So I realized how many. It's not just like everyone likes. Oh, who's your favorite celebrity you've interviewed and all that. And I go, the business people I've talked to, the pilots, all these
Mm-hmm.
people that just travel on a regular basis. Say, how do you sleep? How do you eat? Do you exercise? What do you, how do you take care of yourself? That's
Yeah.
one question because everyone just wants to come home and be healthy.
Well, I recommend if you're traveling a lot, I know at the beginning of this, we talked a little bit about the water.
Yeah.
And I know that there's this big thing about only glass and, well, yeah, if you can find glass, but I travel all over the place and I was just in Nashville last week and I couldn't find a glass water other than Mountain Valley.
Yeah.
And even that was a struggle. I think we got the last four mountain valleys in like all of Nashville. I mean, it was wild. So then you go to the next thing, which is like Evian in the plastic. And it's at least you're getting some decent tested good enough water, right?
Yeah.
And then you bring shower filters. That's what my husband and I do. We shower filter everywhere we go. I don't like to have who knows what water washing my skin. It's the foundation of health, honestly, is water. So I definitely recommend and brushing your teeth with the bottled water. We'll actually buy a distilled water and then we'll buy good water and drink the good water and then we brush our teeth with the distilled water. I wash my face with the water that's in the bottles versus it from the faucet. We just don't know what our country's water really is like. And so I definitely recommend doing that when you're out traveling. And then bring your herbs with you, bring your
Yeah.
tinctures with you, and take them, especially if you're going to eat questionably, take them right before eating questionably. Like if you're just going to mow down some raw sushi from AM PM, please don't. But if you do,
I won't now. Damn
you
it.
need to take the ParaFy kit minutes before you decide to eat the questionable sitting out raw sushi.
How do you feel about other sushi?
I mean, I eat like avocado rolls now. My husband and I lived in Reno and it's like all you can eat
Yeah.
sushi all the time and it's good. Like they fly that in from Cali. Like it's such good. Not anymore. No. But I'll eat like veggie sushi and then I'll eat like a California roll sometimes, but even that, I mean, it's so hard to get past what I've seen, honestly. It's so hard. It's so hard. I hate it. I hate that I had to like see it all and then I'm just smile and share it with everyone because I'm in pain.
It's the classic thing where they say, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
it's
can't
always in your
unknow.
brain.
And I live in Seattle, and I've actually gone down to Pike's Market here in Seattle where they throw the salmon and they throw the fish,
Yeah.
and they know who I am. I've gone down there and I'm like, so could you tell me about fish? Because this is you guys are like known for this, and they're all I go, tell me about the worms in the fish. They go, well, all fish have worms. It's just closer to the cut of the belly has more parasites than the actual outside of the belly. And then they said that there can be up to 10,000 parasite eggs in 1 square inch of salmon. And I'm like, I'm dead. I just looked at them. I go, have you guys ever cleansed? And they were like, no, what's that? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, you have worms.
Is that one of the times where it sucks being the worm queen?
No, I liked it. I go down there all the time and I'm like standing there, I'm all looking for the worms
Now I know,
everywhere.
but you got to tell some guy working. It's like I know it's just your job, but you have worms.
Got worms?
You go, oh, see, there's your new tagline.
Oh, I have that tagline. It's trademarked.
Yeah, okay, got to. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, got worms, worm queen, Rogers Hood, like yep. I mean, the worms are everything, but they're everywhere. So
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I make this so it's not fear mongering because I'm not fear mongering. Like you can cleanse, you don't have to cleanse. You can do whatever you'd like. I just want you to at least have the education and the knowledge to be able to make that decision for yourself.
See, that's 100%. That's exactly how I feel about everything. It's like
Hmm.
just let me figure out what I want to take for myself, and if I have an adverse reaction to it, then great.
Then great.
But I mean, it's like,
No, I know. Just kidding.
but when I go to the doctor, I'm like, well, we'll see how it goes. It's like it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is it's like that's where sovereignty comes from and being your own patient advocate and not borderline communists because that's the difference. I don't think people realize that communism is you don't have any say over your own body. That's the difference, right? Like there's
Well,
more, but that's really the thing is they own your body.
kind of going back to what you said about, I mean, like I live in California. The
Mhm.
COVID apparently was worse in California because I would travel to Texas twice a year.
Mhm.
No mask, no regulations, no 6 feet, no none. I go to Tennessee. My daughter's like, I don't even know where my mask is. Like I haven't used it since I
Mhm.
came back from California. So I'm like, for some reason, COVID wasn't bad in certain states, but it was really bad in other states.
Pacific Northwest states.
Yeah, exactly.
Washington was the epicenter, Oregon, California, they all tried to control everything.
They didn't try.
They,
They
I mean,
did.
they really did a good job doing it. It
Couldn't go to
was
the
like,
beach.
yeah, oh, well, we couldn't go into go get food without a card showing that we got it. And I'm like, we're great, we got to move. But yeah, they shut your guys' beaches down.
Oh, so not even just the beaches. So a lot of people every day walk on the beach here. So they've shut that down because, exercise and sun. No. So all the people that would walk every day on the strand came up to the sidewalk that was right along the water. And so they were just doing the same thing. They
Hmm.
shut that side of the sidewalk down. So you could only walk on the side that wasn't close to the beach. I'm like, hold on. So now you're preventing me from walking on a sidewalk
Hmm.
outside in the sun because someone walking by me might have it made I was just like, I've lost my brain.
You know what? The only good thing was we came into a medical awakening.
Yeah,
All of us
100%.
bonded,
Yeah.
right? Because I've met so many people. I've done so many things since 2020. And I just feel like it was like a different way to pivot us in society and for us to be able to help the other people that didn't understand to maybe understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think like my mom and dad were very Western medicine and military and like they're on the herb side. They're doing cleanses. They're doing things that like they like
They
to
would have
me
they would have
for.
scoffed at you
Oh, they
10
did
years ago.
scoff at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's things that they did look at me and they're like, you're,
Yeah.
and now they're like, oh my God, Kim, like you look better, you feel better. They look better, they feel better. My mom's not on blood thinners anymore. She's not on oxygen. Like they're actually following some of these amazing natural protocols and they're doing
That's
such a
so cool.
good job, right? Like, so I do see this really great ripple effect. So just
So
wanted to
there.
point. Yeah, so there.
What's the website?
RogersHood.com. And you can find me on Mrs. Rogers Hood on all of my accounts except for IG, Instagram. I'm Mrs. Rogers.hood on Instagram. I feel for Mrs. Rogers Hood on that account. I'm sure some of her DMs are wild.
The it's ROGERS. There's no D.
Correct. Yeah, no D. MRSROGERSHOOD. Or you can actually just go into Google and type in Kim Rogers Worm Queen and I'll pop up. You can type in Worm Queen, I'll
It,
pop up.
it come up exactly. And it's the ParaFy. which is PARAFY.
Correct.
Got
Parasite, ParaFy.
Yeah. Well, Kim, as you can tell, I like talking.
Me too.
Um, I'm going to let you get back to work. You got a lot more employees than I do.
I have 30. Wait, no, we're at 31 now. So
You've added since I've been on the call, so that's not good.
she just started.
Well, I thank you so much for the kits. That
Yeah.
I feel good. I mean,
Good.
that's why I tell my wife. My wife's going to start it up, I think, next week.
Okay, good.
So
Good. I'm glad you didn't do it at the same time. You could see what it was like and you
that's
didn't
what she
have
said.
die-offs together. So
Yeah, how's it feeling? How you feeling? I go, I don't know. I feel good. Yeah. So I appreciate it.
yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll have to stay in touch because you got a lot of good stuff. So
Oh, for sure. You have my number. Text me. I'll get the information. I'll get you a lymph kit sent out so you can get your lymphatic system going and your brain health and
I'll be like a new man.
you'll be a new man. Yeah, that's what this is about. A better just version health-wise of who you are.
That's all. That's all we can hope for, right?
That's right. Yeah,
So
I'm excited for you.
thanks again, Kim. I appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.